Hello, viewer. Welcome back to Davenport. I am Davenport. I used to want to be a marine biologist, but upon reaching pubescence, I decided I wanted to defect from marine biology and become an archaeologist. This is Carmichael. He's a good man and an excellent assistant. I am quite glad that you have decided to enter the Davenport residence on this day, as it is a day that can only be referred to as a deeply pleasurable and pristine day. The day of Yuletide. As a child, I was always quite taken with Yuletide, as it was my most prized season of the winter solstice. My father, good old Uncle Da, would tell me mystical tales that would make my brainstem pulsate and become inflamed with little boy dream juices. He would tell me and my brother Davin tales of Saint Kringeldeutsch, who would sneak into every village and break the fingers of every little boy and girl, regardless of their behavior. This would cause me to go to bed at night dreaming of sugar plums, as there were many children on the block whom I did not favor, and I would enjoy seeing them crippled, if only for a little bit. Sometimes, the crooked, wretched societies need chaos and fear to experience the true meaning of Yuletide. Fear. It is always a fascinating thought that I find this season to be. Speaking of my brother Davin, I have received word that he will be returning from the Peruvian War to come spend Yuletide in the Davenport residence, just as it was when we were fresh, unblemished youth. Here in my personal chamber, I have hidden 2 Yuletide gifts. One for Davin, and one for Carmichael. For Carmichael, I have gifted onto him penicillin, his favorite. As for Davin... Because it is the day of Yuletide, I have not been required to work at the fish market today. And as well, it is also the Lord's Day, so I shan't not be working on my archaeological research. This is actually quite excellent, since I must consider that I will be having to prepare a large feast for my guests before they arrive. Carmichael, I'm concerned. I went to check the cupboards to start preparing for the Yuletide feast for tonight, and the chicken, the pheasant, the dill and the dumplings, the roasted witch hazel, gone. I thought you purchased these items, had you not? After arguing with Carmichael tirelessly over who is supposed to have bought food for the Yuletide feast, I finally decided to take it upon myself to venture out of St. John's Village and into the rest of North Bay society to obtain the feed for my approaching guests. However, it dawned upon me that being it the day of Yuletide, all the North Bay food delicatessens would be closed, and so naturally I decided to go into the Davenport residence armory, take the rifle that was given by my father, old Uncle Da, and poach some live game to cook this eve. A part of my mind felt distressed that I would be walking through St. John's Village with a loaded firearm. However, If a neighbor becomes perturbed, I will remind it that I am an archaeologist and that the mind believes what the mind believes. Carmichael, although he can be precarious at times, he's a good man, though, and an excellent assistant. And, like my father used to say, good old Uncle Da, when there are 12 men in a corner, and one man steps forward, shake the hand of the furthest. I decided to poach game in the forest surrounding Mud Lake Wood, here in St. John's Village. It is very near to the Davenport residence. Also, the Papuaskin Banshee has been spotted here. What a present it would be, a massive Yuletide present, for an archaeologist like myself to catch this filthy beast. I have come, however, to hunt for pheasants, for the sun is now 3 meters to the east and my guests will be arriving soon. I shall begin the hunt immediately. I just hope that my aim is as strong as my appetite for brown-breasted pheasant breast. Carmichael, you've prepared the feast. But how? The shops, they are closed.
Davenport?
It's been quite some time.
This is true.
How are you enjoying the jasper pine nut scent of my residence?
It's divine.
And the general ambiance?
If I were to reply, I would have to tell you that I would have to label it agreeable. Even slightly good.
One could almost call it excellent.
Ha-ha! Ah, brother. I almost forgot. Allow me to introduce you to my new wife, Maiden.
Hello.
We were wed in the dirt swamps of Peruvia's capital after sacking their city. 'Twas a glorious day, old boy!
Brother, this is excellent.
Also, Davenport, are you with child, my brother?
No.
Ha-ha!
It appears that the festivities have begun, and Yuletide has been preserved thanks to Carmichael's cunning. I may not have mentioned this before, but despite the qualms between Carmichael and I, he is actually a good man and an excellent assistant. Also, in case you were wondering whom was whom, allow me to oblige you, viewer. Sitting in the chair I usually refer to as David, we have Carmichael. Sitting at the end of the table in the chair I have named St. Jacob, we have my brunkle Davin. Next to him in the chair I have always called Ishmael, we have his new bride Maiden. She told me her nickname is Maiden Child Dewfinger and has kindly allowed me to call her by this name. Next to Carmichael, sitting in the chair known as Paul Blackstone, we have Carmichael's eldest brother Carm. Next to him would sit Carmichael's other brother Michael. However, Michael is in jail for mischievous cowardice. I am glad you were able to attend to this feast on this excellent Yuletide night. It appears that heart temperatures have been rising to dangerously high levels. It is now time for my consciousness to recede into the back of my mind and be immersed into a world where my name is Dirk and I still have a wife and daughter. I hope that you enjoyed this joyous day of Merry Yuletide. And I would like to give you the urge, my friend, to remember, the mind believes what the mind believes.